filming. Your boyfriend.
Shit. Yep.
Hey guys, this is Anisu, aka Nyati Shonga.
Hello, my name is Chido, aka Chizzy. Wagwan, Advocate Amanda here. Hi everyone, this is Kuda, aka Cooks. Hi, and welcome to As Told by Us, the podcast. This is a weekly podcast where 4 professional millennials discuss living in Zimbabwe and trying to figure life out.
Someone once told us the grass is much greener on the other side.
But from where we're standing, our grass is green. Subscribe, like, share, comment down below.
Okay, guys, before we get into the episode, let's get into the dilemma. Okay, so somebody says, I don't know who you are, sir, but I love you so much. Wakanti Koshera, which is cute, but I don't know who you're talking to. Again,
is that a dilemma or
a statement? It was a comment that was on the link to the secret link of the secret anonymous.
What's can you repeat that
to me?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, boy. You want to repeat?
Yeah.
I love you so much. Wakandi Koshera.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, but here's the real dilemma. Trying to get out of a toxic workplace, but I haven't put notice in as I'm trying to set up another job. Worry is, once I put notice, they will ask that I serve my entire 3 months, and the other job may want me to immediately start. I'm hella stressed.
It's so funny because
Resign now.
Well, before this part about it, I was talking to Amanda about exactly something similar like a year ago.
Yeah. And I went through something similar too. But
So what do we say? Do you quit, or do you quit now and serve your 3 months, or do you wait until you set up the new job before you jump ship?
sorry, the second part is that the second job might not be keen on waiting on the notice.
So it just says, my worry is that if I put a notice, they will ask me to serve my 3 months, and the other job that I may get, because I haven't gotten the job yet, the other job that I may get may want me to start immediately.
Get the job and go. What's the worst they can do?
Even if you don't serve your 3 months, bro. Like,
What's the worst they can do?
Yeah.
I would say count your leave days.
Yeah.
How many leave days do you have? Give them all your leave days. Hopefully they amount to the 3 months that you need. If they amount to 2 months, get to your 2 months and go.
I think for me the interesting thing is I paid off my 3 months. I think it's you're right to ask what's the worst I can do, and people are asking me why are you paying. To me, it was just like a matter of principle, and I was like, if my contract is saying I should do that, then I'm going to do it, and even if it costs me some money, then that's the case. Yeah. So to me, I've looked at it as, I think, secure the other job first, but in your preparation in securing the other job, try and save up as much as possible so that you can pay off your notice period.
Yeah. And leave days then also is pretty smart that you can do.
Also, I don't know, but I feel like people don't read their contracts. I find that a lot of these things, it's scary to be like, oh my God, I'm leaving and my contract says 3 months. Okay, and then? Because did you actually read what it says? You need to give them notice 3 months. If you don't, what happens? Right? And then you can plan like that so that at least you now know what the consequence is going to be, right? But I find that a lot of people sign, nobody actually reads their contracts. Half the time you don't even know what your contract is. You haven't
Sometimes you don't even have one.
And if you don't even better. Because then you can leave. And I feel like already what you're saying to yourself already is you care about obviously, yes, you should care about where you're leaving. It's important. You know, you want to always keep good relationships.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes, like Anesu said, being selfish is good self-care. I'm assuming that where you're going is better than what you're leaving anyway for, right? And if this is going to be a good opportunity for you, hey, leave them and go do what you need to do for your life, friend. Because
Also, does a toxic work environment even, do they deserve that from you?
no.
I'm sorry, but like, if you, like you said, we have a contract, right? You're supposed to pay me, you're supposed to treat me like an employee, right? But if you're not treating me like an employee, do I owe you like
No, but actually, maybe that's where the fear comes from. Because you're in a toxic work environment, you know that these people
they'll
are
do something to
vindictive.
you.
And
But
therefore,
no, honestly,
that fear of retribution
And
might actually might
And
be
they
But they're
would
holding you back.
sabotage you where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
they're holding you back,
don't
though.
burn bridges, but I think it being a toxic environment is your answer enough. You're going no matter what. Obviously, try and do as little damage as you can in your exit, but stand on your business. If you get the job, tell them you're going. This is what you're thinking. If your contract doesn't say anything about the notice period, then tell them I ain't giving you nothing. And then if they say we want to force you, then I don't know, maybe lawyer up, but then okay, just go.
shameless plug.
Also, I feel like the Zim context, I think it's now like unspoken. People do leave their jobs without giving 3 months notice.
Yeah.
Because lots of employers are not waiting for you for 3 months. They want you like Monday. So,
And don't forget, you also get fired without notice.
I literally was about to say that. I was literally about to say, how come I must give you notice to quit, but you don't have to give me notice to fire me? No. If it's fair, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm out, whether you kick me out or I leave on my own. That's just how it is. But because it's a toxic work environment, I also think care about yourself.
Yeah.
And do what you need to do. Because this person's already ready to quit without a job offer. This person's already ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick disclaimer, this is not legal advice.
Also.
Good. I just say for me, what I did in that situation was that I quit.
Without the job?
Without the job, and
For your mental health?
For my mental health, and incidentally, I got the job after I quit, and they asked me to serve my notice period. But because I quit before I got the job, the amount of time that I had to serve was actually shorter. The only thing I'll say with that is this is Zim, bro. So if you quit and you don't get that other job, you're gonna need to be ready to be unemployed for a while in between jobs. But sometimes it's worthwhile, but it's tough. But that was the decision that I made, that I'm ready to do that. But
For me, I was lucky enough to have a situation that could wait, but that notice period time was brutal. That was difficult. I don't know why people do that, because it's awkward. But then I got through it and I'm okay.
you're like,
3 months is a long time.
Yeah, I would just say, just like whatever it is this person decides to do, whether they decide to quit now or wait for the job offer to come and then quit later, you just need to be prepared mentally for whatever comes. That's what I would just say.
I'm in business.
All right. Valentines is cool.
If you didn't get that from the intro, that's the topic for today. So we're just going to discuss it a bit. And I just wanted to ask you guys, in terms of romantic love, not this agape, what. In terms of romantic love, what are your feelings towards it? And like, when was it introduced to you? Like, what are your memories
Of romantic
of your introduction to romantic love?
In the context of Valentine or what you're in
general.
Fair.
I would say fairy tales for me. Like Beauty and the Beast. That was like my first what is this? What is this feeling?
You like it.
why I say Beauty and the Beast, I don't know, because there was the rose situation or whatever, and that's all I remember. And I just felt like, to me, that was like the one fairy tale that I remember in terms of romantic love. So that's how I was introduced to it, probably, like fairy tales. And
I think, I don't know, especially from a girl's perspective, it almost feels like indoctrination when I because there was so much importance placed on it. Like you're a child, but then like you gotta have a prince and this and that.
Yes.
And I remember especially in high school, there's just a phase where things just go crazy and it becomes all anybody thinks about or talks about or wants you to think about or talk about, and like it just becomes such an idealized thing. And so half the time you really didn't know what it was, but then you just know that there had to be like some boy who sweeps you over all these
With the meet
things.
cute.
So for me it was, you know, the hearts and crossing names, and I think even from Krish we just sort of just got into boy, girl, there was like something special about it. So yeah, there was a lot of hype, and I think there still is. It just kind of gets worse. You grow up. A lot of hype.
Yeah, I think, like Amanda's saying, I think my first introduction was when I then got like assimilated into school and all of that, and like going to school with like boys and whatever. And it even starts from the parents. If you're friends with a boy,
Wait, going to school with boys?
in like Krish.
oh,
Yo, started it.
I was like, which school did you go to? Like, which boys are you talking about,
Oh
bro?
my gosh! Even in Krish, like you make friends, right? And then if you have like, I used to have like this boy I would play with a lot.
Did you guys...
No secrets.
And it was a what, man? Was a what?
Your white boy face.
I used to have this friend, right? And it would be the teachers, like just going, oh, your little boyfriend, oh, your little whatever. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And even parents do it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Murora, oh, Mukwasha. And you're thinking,
Yeah.
why is this? And it's like that positive reinforcement that happens so early when you're like just small. You realize, okay, this is something that society wants me to have.
I think I had an evolution, right? So definitely I had a lot of that, right? I actually went to a primary school that was very co-ed. And my nursery school was also very co-ed, right? So there was a lot of, you playing with boys, then somehow, somewhere, the teachers and the parents sort of pair you up. That was definitely nursery school. Then there's the movies. That was definitely early primary school. Like, then I got into music, and then music became its own force in terms of it's like rap songs,
Westlife.
exactly. And you get to that point where like boys are dedicating songs to you, and like they're writing letters with lyrics and all of that thing, and it's so cringe. But like,
Oh, cute.
see, and
Cute.
and then you sort of get to high school, right? And then you have now that Valentine's coming. Can you imagine the stress that those girls are going through right now? Thinking, am I getting the flowers? Who's bringing the flowers?
you've gotten flowers for whatever boy,
You see?
and now it's like,
And then you have to make a pact with your friends. Like, you buy me flowers, I'm gonna buy you flowers. All of us at least have flowers. Because then it's like the trauma of going in front of, like in the hall or whatever, and they're calling out your name, and your name is the one that called out. Or they're in your classroom and you're the only one that doesn't have flowers.
Tough.
In the quad.
And everybody knows, and everybody sees, and then all the little boys are coming in with their buckets and delivering the flowers, and you're thinking, oh my god, my flower is there, and then it's not. It's like, it's the stress of it. So I learned, first it was learning that like love is like this damsel in distress from the movies and things, and then it became like love is very sexual from the from music, and then it became love is trauma.
For real though.
From the Valentines. Like it became, and then you grow older and then maybe you start feeling like, okay, I'm a little bit more confident in myself. Valentines or no Valentines, I'm okay. You get to that phase. And then you hopefully eventually get to the point where you're secure and safe and, romance becomes... But I think at our age, romance is not... it's flowers. I like flowers. But it's
for the record.
It's for the record. But it's also like practical things. Like romance is effort and romance is communication and romance is dates and, romance is action and not just kiss me when I'm fainted.
Let's hear from the boys because I'm curious to...
I'm glad you used that word because that was the thing. For me, I started off with love is trauma first. Because I went to a boys' school. So I was at a school and across the road there was a girls' school. So when you're going for these functions, you need to come back with something, bro. Like, you need to come back with a number. You need to come back with someone having seen you dance with somebody. Yeah. You need to come back smelling of some perfume. You need to come back with something. And, I'm coming back with something. So that was the start of it. So to me, it wasn't even like I liked the concept of it. It was like, yo, I can't come back with nothing. I gotta go out here and come back with nothing. So, you have to find your way. Like, are you a number person, or do you have a friend, or do you have a woman that you talk to, or you need to find your way around that shit. So that was the first thing. And then, incidentally, because I wouldn't say, but because that's how I started. Primary and high school, I never actually dated anyone. And my entire concept of it was these are the things, and I would just be happy to come back with evidence that I could slick talk, or I could get a number, or I could be close to someone. It wasn't actually about the girl. And then after I finished high school,
it was about the evidence. Street cred.
It was street cred.
Yeah.
It was street cred. To me, it started off with street cred. So
and here's the little girl being like, oh, time today. No. I gave him my number. He likes me. Eventually, goes back and says, I got a number. Interesting enough, what was weird for me specifically, but this was a me thing, was I didn't need to show the guys, but I needed it for myself. So I didn't need to gloat, because there were people who gloat who were like, yo, this is what I did. But I needed to know in my heart that someone gave me a number today and she liked me. I needed that for myself. Would you talk to her?
I would. Okay. So I would talk to her and all of that. But so I think why that's important is because I didn't like the public nature of things, because it was trauma. I didn't like the pressure. I didn't like the way in which people are braggadocious about it. And you don't brag because you got one number. You brag because you're a consistent getter of numbers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put myself in that. So because that was the case, I was fortunate that my early relationships were with people where it was private. And then, besides that, I needed to get a number or talk to a girl. There was no concept of what talking to her or actually being with her is like. And therefore, I think I learned a lot from my early relationships and how those were. And then I started liking the feeling I'd get from those interactions. So
I have questions for MMV.
Yo. Lover boy.
Okay, so for me it started, I was a very naughty kid. Very naughty kid. So I spent most of my childhood with older cousins and uncles and stuff like that. So I would watch the stuff they would watch and all that. So I think my first girlfriend, and I was actually aware of it at the time, was the age of 4 or 5.
Damn.
I was already yo, I already knew that, okay, yeah, a girlfriend is something to have. Right?
Wow.
But then after that, I don't know, something happened and I just became very closed off. I became extremely shy. And that was like primary school. And then that kind of carried a bit into high school. And then high school, I went to an all boys school. And it was very like conquest type vibe, like what you were saying. It was just like, yo, you know, yeah, you teenagers. Right? Yeah, but then like I feel like at that time I was just like super self-conscious, so I was just like, yo, I was using like Lil Wayne lyrics. Right? And
Lollipop.
it was this.
Not that long.
Not lollipop.
Why not?
And then I think a significant change was when I actually started going out, going to parties. So these like V dances and what.
How early?
You know, first party I was like 16. 16. So when I went to that first party and stuff like that, I was like, oh, okay. Now this is dope, you know, just like, you know, on the dance floor and what. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then as time went on, went to more parties, more like just social interactions. At that point, it was like, I don't think I had a concept of like love. But then I knew that I liked having a partner. You know, I liked having a partner. And obviously it's like, yo, I'm at a boys' school, so like if you have a date, like,
it's good.
come on, fam. And then, so at that point, I always used to look at like hitting on girls and stuff like that. It's like, it's just a thing a nigga has to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the concept of like girls can actually like you, initiate the first move. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is foreign to me. I don't understand this, right? So I just happened to have like, at that time I had a friend who was extremely good with girls, right? And like, I would just tag along and stuff like that. Then I guess because of just watching him and like his interactions and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
You learned the game.
Yeah, I learned the game because we have to approach, yo. You know what I'm saying? And the approaching side of things, like, there's a time when it's like, yo, how do we even, especially like if it's a group of girls and you're solo.
I still haven't managed that.
Yo, because there's going to be one who's just going to make sure that
the friend, there's always that one friend.
Yeah.
That one friend who's a problem.
Then I got to got to upper six. In upper six, I was in a relationship. It was pretty serious, you know. That was like my high school sweetheart. And then I went to varsity, right? So first year of varsity, yo.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, flashback. Because I was just like, you know, we went to you know, the registration. You know, you go for like reg, you know. And like my dad is here said, Father, you have to behave yourself. Father, it's crazy. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Dad? This is very cringe. But then, yeah,
You understood.
I understood. Because the thing is, I was like, by that time I was really comfortable like with myself now, and I was like I'd already started making music and all that, so I was just like, yo, I'm the rapper guy. You know, that's my thing. You know, so like first night on campus, I was already like, yo, I was going to the girls' dorms. I was like, yo, what's up? What's good? What's creepy. Yeah. But then I was like, but literally, it wasn't like, I was literally just like doing introductions, just getting to know people. I'd never be like, yo, let's do
Okay,
this.
but did you go introduce yourself to men too?
No. I don't
What I mean is, you were trying to make friends.
Yeah.
Right? You just chose to make friends with the honeys.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what?
You had a question.
Do you have a question?
Let's continue.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like there's like lots of things coming up now.
So many
things are like they need to be unpacked. Firstly, romance versus love, and love versus sex. Because I feel like sometimes you're like, okay, this is a relationship and whatnot, right? But it's more physical and love.
Yeah.
So I liked what Kuda was talking about, how like her concept of love has evolved. Because I feel like we need to like just try and separate those. So I said, well, what was your first experience of like romantic love? But I'm seeing the guys wanted to conquer. And I don't think conquering had anything to do with
Romance.
love.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do we mix those up and do we know the difference?
Between love and romance.
And sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is that perspectives are so different.
Yeah.
Because even when MMV was saying, you know, he had a friend who's good with girls, most guys are talking like about Barney Stinson. And from a girl's perspective, it's like, no. But then from a guy, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's the man. So I think our perspectives are so different.
Worlds apart.
And that makes it so hard. For me, yeah, I guess love and romance, I guess it is different from the girl's side when you're on the receiving end, because you're just sort of like taking all the stuff and sifting through it. And guys are just on a mission of their own.
Hey, look, one disclaimer I'd say is some of us, the good thing that happened was besides the conquering, there was no concept of what that looks like. So there was no concept of what that relationship actually is. So there's a void there. So you can fill that up with your own partner.
Okay, but that's...
So with your own partner, that's how love, romance, all those different things. Because, like from a male perspective, this is a boys' school exclusive. We don't know what happens in co-ed. It's a boys' school exclusive. Boys' school conquest is part of it. No question about it. But all you have to do is you have to do something. But what that thing that you do and how you do it and who you do it with, that's kind of open to interpretation. So they still...
You guys would just lie.
No, you can still learn from the girl.
No, it becomes a stage where it's now about, you know, have you reached a certain stage with the girl where the phone number's not enough. It's like, oh yeah, but did you? And then you lie. So, I
But then also, you're saying that there's no concept of what it should look like.
Yeah.
She has a concept of what that should look like.
So when I talk to her, I learn her concept and then I mirror her concept.
You study me so that you can get what you want from me. So it's
But
not
I'm still learning.
but there's a concept
you're lying.
you want.
I'm learning from you.
No.
I'm empty. So the only thing is I need to go back to the guys.
What you're doing is...
But I'm learning from
What
you.
you're doing
That's
is...
going back with something, the substance to it. This is why I'm saying that it graduates to saying, okay, at first when you're in Form 2, it's like, oh, I'm talking to this girl.
Yeah.
And then when you're in Upper 6, it's more like, yeah, but you're just talking. It doesn't...
Before you go into what I want to say is you're learning how I feel that love should be, so that you can manipulate the situation, give me what I want to get what you want in the end. Correct?
Manipulate is so some guys manipulate. But not all. That's what I'm saying. We just mirror. So I'm mirroring you because I'm learning. You're right. I'm learning. So you learn from TV or movies or from friends or whatever. I'm learning as I'm talking to you. So I want to be able to say I'm still talking to this girl next week. So I'm learning what it is that you like, that I do, that makes you still want to talk to me next week.
So that you can get something.
No, so that I can still
back to the
Wait, hold on. Okay, so first disclaimer, right? We're talking about a specific time period, right? This is high school, right?
Yeah.
So even maturation levels weren't even all the way there, right? But I'll say in my experience, when I was in high school, there was a certain pride and chivalry about the way we interacted with our girlfriends. It wasn't just purely physical. For a lot of guys, it might have been, but I'll just speak from my experience and like people in my circle type thing. It was like, it would be more of a competition of like, yo, I treated my girl to this.
Yeah.
You should.
Did you see her smiling?
I should probably do this. Would actually go intricate details like your outfits, like and make sure I'm looking like this,
smelling good, sharing deals.
You know what I'm saying?
Like getting a blazer so that you look clean.
Yeah.
So
we take pride. We take pride because there'll be stuff like what was it called, allied arts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe your girlfriend comes through and you're just there. Exactly.
What? I stayed first. It was like a competition, like singing, choir.
Yeah.
Oh, basically it's just the scenes where
But you
you're
know
going
what?
to meet.
Yes.
I agree with you. I am going to agree with you. Right? I do think in high school, the dudes put a lot of effort, right, in treating their girlfriends.
Yeah.
And they made their friends also treat their girlfriends in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like,
So what happened?
So what changed?
they went to uni.
Honestly, that's a good question. I think you're right. Going to uni is one, but I think the honest truth is, I think at some point you have to give up conquest as an idea, or you have to be really good at it. So some guys just have the ability to talk to women, they can do it. So they set the bar, they do it. Or some guys, you give up conquest, now you have this person in. But the most difficult and the most dangerous are the ones that don't have the skills, but they still want to show to their friends that they have the skills. So that's where the disconnect comes in. Then someone's like, how do I bridge that gap? And then that's where all that manipulation and lying and
also
deceit
there's
comes
the first heartbreak.
Yeah.
That one turns you to a different beast. You know? That one, my first heartbreak, after that I was a different person. For a good because my first heartbreak happened like just as I was getting into varsity. You know, so now when I got to varsity, I was just like, hey, ladies,
I know what y'all do.
Yes.
Okay, so when you say different person, is it this trauma that certain guys then start to ride on to justify things? Did it become like a resentment? Did you want to revenge? Or did you sort of become disillusioned by your early experience of romantic love and you maybe just say, well, I don't believe in that anymore, so now I'm purely transactional? Or was it that I still believe in love, but then now I don't know, what really is that change?
Okay, you'll have to give a nuanced response because I actually do think that person actually listens to this podcast.
Shout out to you, baby girl. Shout out. Hey, girl.
She doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, so at that time, it's a mixture of like pain and like ego, embarrassment, because it's also about the specifics of how it goes down.
Yeah.
You see, so the way it went down wasn't really nice, and then like, you know, it got into a situation where like her friends are saying things on Facebook and it's becoming like this whole thing. So at that point in time, it was just kind of like you've kind of taken an L, right? And you feel to yourself like you've taken an L, you know. So
And in public.
In public. So now you have that chip on your shoulder, and like nah. Like I can't play these games. I can't be out here looking crazy. You know, so you're going there to varsity like, yo, nah, like I'm really gonna have to like show that, you know, it's not a game, you know. But it's like, it's also, when you look back on it, it's quite immature. You know, at that time it's fun, you're just like, you know, going crazy, but to be honest, you're just hurt and embarrassed, that's all.
That makes sense.
Okay, I have a question. Since we're talking about romantic love and since Valentine's is around the corner, and my question is directed to the guys, right? Do you think that, are you guys romantic people? And what is your definition of romance?
So let me take this one. I learned in South Africa for a while and then I came back to Zim. I use that to say I do think I am romantic, but there's no point in you thinking that you're romantic if the person that you're with does not think the same way.
Okay.
And to Amanda's point, I think at some point, as a guy, you have to react to the environment that you're in and the expectations of the people in the environment that you're in. Why am I saying that? At certain points, I felt I was romantic, and there were things that I specifically liked, and I would hold on to those things, those ideas. So, for example, I like going to the art gallery, I like drinking wine, I like the sweet messages that handwritten notes. I like those things.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes those things don't translate to the person that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And now you need to show different things. They want money. they want things that they can post on the gram. They want to go to specific events as couples, and then you have to react to that sort of thing. So why I'm saying that is, I think I'm romantic because I think when I find people that speak in specific languages that I like, then I really, really enjoy it. But then out of pure necessity, sometimes you just have to be like, I like this girl, and I don't think that the things that I like to do would work. And therefore, I just have to respond to her. And why I'm saying that is, it sounds very reactive, but as a guy, you're the one who's going to go. And if you just go as yourself, yeah, you might win some, but then you lose so many. Like you have to revise the playbook at some point. So I like romance. I like those things.
I'm definitely romantic. I one of the earliest memories I remember is just thinking that girls are awesome. Like not in a like sexual way, just the concept of women and the energy they present is just amazing. And so I had this idea of like, okay, if I'm like with a woman, like I really wanted to like glow and like feel, because it helps me. Investing her peace, it helps my peace. You know what I'm saying? So
seeing a girl laugh was like that.
Yeah,
like that was the first test, dog.
Yeah, those
seeing a girl laugh. Yeah, that's the first thing. Yeah. Like even in high school, dog. Like but then the one thing that you do, like if you make a girl laugh, then like you. Oh man, that's a trip.
Are these boys using this podcast to campaign?
No, but I'm gonna preface it by saying
the lies.
I get it. Haven't you had a situation where like a guy gets upset because you laughed at someone else? Yeah. Like, even if it's a certain way of reaction, it's just like. So I see it.
But that's interesting because like what spurred on this episode was a thing we saw on the internet, and this man was actually explaining how romance is something that was developed by men and not women. So it was developed by men to show off to other men. And it's something that they're saying as women we've now played into.
Yeah.
So like when we were discussing that whole, fairy tales, Beauty and the Beast, whatever. It's something that we've been, like Amanda said, we've been indoctrinated into. And so it's something that guys can use to attract us.
Yeah.
So when you say I'm very romantic, it's like because I've now learned the playbook and I'm able to attract the kind of woman I want.
I think the wrong thinking there is that like every single interaction we have with women, there's like an ulterior motive or like we're overly strategic about it. Sometimes it's just as simple as like I like her energy. It's as simple as that. So when I say I'm like extremely romantic, it's like to women who I have a romantic interest in.
Okay.
Not like, the others who are trying to be, in a situation which I'm not,
Yeah, but I just think it's like very nuanced. Like what we're doing, is it because we're doing it because we want to, or is it because we're doing it because society has said this is what we should do? So this would be a question for the girls now. Like, what do you expect? Like, Valentine's is here now. Got mans. What is man supposed to do for ya?
To be honest, I think that's interesting because I had a situation. I think especially it was high school, and I mean, it was great at the time, but I felt at some point that it was just checking boxes, just doing all the right things, and everyone else around me was more excited about things. Like, say, oh, it's flowers, it's roses, and whatnot, and it kind of felt like a routine that I'm supposed to like. To say, oh no, he's doing all the things he's supposed to do.
So I should like him.
do. And then at some point, I felt like I was the one who was wrong, because then why am I not having that particular feeling? And it took a bit of growth and maturity to realize that, like, you know, you can sort of get along with somebody and everything is fine, but it's just not necessarily something that's supposed to go on for a long time. Or like, I mean, it's romantic, but I guess in the textbook sense of romantic, to say to everybody else, you guys just look great and it all looks great, but then at some point it becomes more, as you grow up, becomes more of the interaction between two people, the communication, the collaboration, like how we moving in life. But then if you now feel like it's a display of something, or a display of some sorts that, like, feels like you're doing the right thing, but then something is just empty about it. So I think for me that was my first growth into starting to think about, okay, what do I really like, and starting to understand that I value connection more than like the stuff. I mean, the stuff is nice, like I like flowers. And all those things, but
flowers are being plugged on this podcast from now.
I mean, with flowers, right? One, there's two things. It's like how some people will say, like, it depends on who it's coming from. I think that's really true. Like, I mean, I like flowers, but I mean, it's not like it means any guy should just be like, okay, let's just get flowers, so that's gonna work. Romance then just becomes an expression of a deeper connection that's there. And if that connection is there, then almost anything can be romantic, to be honest.
The only thing I'll say, guys, especially those in high school, those are older. If you're in high school, even one rose works, bro. As long as you find a way to make a single rose work, you can put an extra card on it, you can put some chocolate on it, you can put like some nice things on it, like even a single rose, and then you're the rose, whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Nowadays, and also nowadays, in high school, that won't work.
It doesn't work.
Because remember, in high school, for us, talking to a boy meant like, I've got 25 SMSs with this $1. And, you would curate your conversations. There was even time of discussion of replies. We were in a different environment if it comes to romance. Now, these kids are not romantic at all. Because it's so accessible, it's so transactional, I think it's so different.
I don't think it's the transactional part. I actually think it's specifically is the part about showing. I think that's the harm specifically, that it is meant to be shown. So I go with my friends and then we post on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or WhatsApp status, or they see me with this person, and that's why you talk to someone in your loudspeaker or any of those things, or even like, so in high school they call your name. The showing part, I think, is the most harmful element of that, and some people don't get out of it. They can be 60, 70, 80 and they're still in the showing. Some people do, but I think that's the growth phase of, like, it's not about all the other people, it's about us. And once you move from that dynamic of others to us, I think your relationships and romance and including the sex becomes better. Like, even the sex part, like I'm saying, I know I'm like, but like, there's a part about showing. There's a part where people are like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so I'm not saying anyone on the podcast does it, but I'm saying physical intimacy with someone could be literally about, did I go base A, B, C, or whatever? That's a showing. But when it becomes, I like this, oh, you like this, oh, you like this, oh, I like that, then it becomes much more intimate. And I think if we can let go of the showing, it's become much nicer.
You know what? I'm coming back to why I don't like social media.
Every
episode, I'm gonna make that into my tagline. But like, Valentine's right? Because it is the show, right? Here's going to be a little boy who can't afford the big bouquets, can't get Kevin, the wedding planner, to do a whole thing, you know? And all he does have is a single rose. But he has a genuine care for this person. She's gonna look at it and be like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with that when my friends are posting there were Range Rovers that drove through the quad and then there was this big float and then there were things written in the sky and, you know, I want to be able to also post those things. So what is she going to do? She's going to go find a dude that she doesn't even like who's able to do those things for her so that she does have something to post, right? And that little boy is, shit, he's not heartbroken and then he turns into a 6 who then turns into a beast because he's now heartbroken too. And now we've created this entire cycle of nonsense. Why? Because Instagram and TikTok and X and you know exactly, and it's like, well, who is it benefiting? And then you're losing a genuine connection that you could have had with someone who genuinely likes you, probably can't give you all those things, but actually cares and is genuine about you, right? Because right now the pressure really is, if you're in high school, I need to flirt with some dude who's gonna send me a rose next week because now it's D-time, you know?
And I think it's not limited to high school now.
It's not.
Actually, in fact, it seems to get worse the older that you get because in high school there's almost the excuse that we're in high school so the guys are broke.
Yeah.
But now when you're 25 and you're a chick and you're 25, then you don't have the excuse that, oh, the guys are broke, that's why they're not giving me these 50 rose bouquets that are done by Kevin, the wedding planner. So it actually, and I think for me, I almost don't want to say what I want to say.
Say it.
It actually, I was talking with a friend, and as I get older, I'm actually seeing that I like the girls that are at that in uni, just out of uni phase a lot more because they almost don't seem to have these expectations that the older that, like, it seems that the older that people get, the more that expectation and pressure is. And it doesn't necessarily need to be on Instagram, but it's like something that someone accumulates. And what I'm saying is, I still in a space where I don't have these concepts of love or sex or romance. I still mirror the person that I'm with. It is how I express my affection to someone. Is I'm going to know you and I'm going to mirror that. And I like the exploration at that stage, just the wildness, just the lack of disillusionment, the wonder that those people have. I like that. And, you know, that's why I said it's difficult, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There's so many layers to what you've just said.
Yeah.
But I think you make quite an interesting point in terms of your preference. But then you see, you're saying you want to mirror somebody, but at the same time, there's a certain kind of somebody you'd rather mirror because it's a bit of less pressure to fulfill those certain requirements.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
Just by saying, real lovers know that any time is Valentine's. You know?
Hey, look at the boy! Look at the boy!
Okay.
So, I for me personally, it's not really a specific age range or anything like that. I would just encourage people to learn how to tango, right?
Yeah.
Because all these interactions is just a dance, right?
Yeah.
And if she doesn't want to follow the dance, like the energy is not worth it, even whether it's on the girl's side or on the guy's side.
Yeah.
As long as you match energy,
Yeah.
you know, that's all you need to focus on.
Yeah.
You know, any day can be Valentine's Day, and then Valentine's Day you can actually just like stay in and actually chill, watch movies, nothing special because every day is special. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So real lovers know that any day can be Valentine's.
I mean, game, boy.
So, any closing arguments? I think MMV has really done a good job trying to summarize. I think just for someone who's single this Valentine's, for someone who's single this Valentine's, just one day, bro. Don't feel the pressure. Don't feel the pressure from your family, from your friends, from whatever, from the internet and all of that. It's really just one day. And I feel like it's more important for you to go on that quest for love rather than trying to always chase romance.
I think just to add on that, one thing that I found to be very transformative in my own life is just learning to love on yourself. It makes such a difference in the way that you feel, in the way that you carry yourself. It actually even gives you a certain energy that's even more attractive than when you're out there like trying to find something. So like treat yourself. Like, I mean, if it's Valentine's Day and it's something that you like, it's okay, do something to make yourself feel good. And the more you feel good, the more people want to be around you because that kind of feeling is infectious. So love is a nice thing. Don't be angry at it. Just like calm down. And just like love when you have an opportunity to do it, because life is short and there's nothing wrong with, expressing that.
Alrighty,
enjoy your Valentines, everybody.